Hello, folks. This is Jeff Davis with the legendary Jeff Davis Show from Central Texas, USA. And I love Mike Hanson Archives. Peace out, baby.
You're on the air, my friend.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, so your guest is just talking about how there's more and more, little nitpicky laws, more and more just to help out the multinational corporations.
Is this Alex?
Yeah.
Okay, let me just go through them briefly. Just then you can respond. I know how you go, so let me go through them. You got people being stopped in the streets, have their cars searched. You got to have insurance, emissions checks in Ohio now, inspection stickers, insurance. What is license, driver's license, state license, all of the he's talking about what was it? Get on with it now. Before
Okay.
this is Alex. This is him. So he'll go and go and go.
His show.
Okay, so you've got the helicopter scanning you from afar.
You got to
Sobriety
scan it.
checkpoints.
Sobriety. I mean, it's a sobriety
They scan
check.
your fingers now whenever you get your damn driver's license.
But the fact is, a lot of folks they ain't recognizing it. See, they just this
They
kind
think it's reasonable to go in and get their thumb scanned like a criminal when they get a driver's license. I don't think that's reasonable.
Well, come on with it. Come on with it now.
Well, I mean, listen, folks. I think that's all real important because, that's, everybody knows that the new form of tyranny is here, I'll put this on mute.
Yeah, come on with it. Come on. Let's get you on a roll now, Alex.
I'll go. Listen. The new form of tyranny, folks, and this is what Jeff's always talking about, is regulation. And I don't mean regulations that are, that make
Hello.
to tie us up, make us busy. So we're so busy complying all the time that we can't take the time to find out that our government's turned totally crooked. But even though this is happening, stuff's starting to leak out about the CIA, the FBI. I mean, people are starting to find out that our government has turned into a criminal government. And I'm not talking about, some guy down the street, who works for the government. I'm talking about the people that control the government. And something that you've also talked about in the past that is one of the most scary things is the Second Amendment. I was watching a movie the other night, and even in Hollywood movies now, they'll find any time they can to knock gun owners and to knock guns. But at the same time, they'll have wholesale carnage and murder with guns. And folks, we need to understand that inanimate objects aren't the problem; it's the person with the gun. They don't blame a car for a drunk driver, do they? No, they blame the drunk driver. It's the same thing. You blame the criminal. You blame the person. So don't let them take all our rights away in the name of safety or in the name of just what's right. And we just understand that the media has a public relations campaign going 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I mean, it's unending, and that's why, sure, our shows, aren't anything compared to some network bull, but you ought to be thankful that there's people that are willing to get out there and try to show you some information. And we may not be right 100% of the time, but I'll guarantee you this, we're a lot more right than the media who's been caught blowing up pickup trucks trying to say that they were dangerous. Everybody remembers that when they blew up that Chevrolet pickup. And then when it finally came out, they said, oh, we're sorry. The media does nothing to practice lies and deceit, and they're very crafty at it, folks. Now the new thing is they're telling us that the deficit isn't the problem. That's because the big banks are kind of getting scared. Oh, people might wake up and make us cut government. So now they're telling us that, the deficit's been cut. Deficit hasn't been cut. In the last 4 years, it's gone up $1.5 trillion almost. So, I call that exploding, folks. It's the fastest it's ever grown. So don't listen to their crap, folks. They are trying to destroy this country from within. And just look at what Clinton did. He vetoed missile defense. That's peaceful missiles. Those are not nuclear missiles. Those are peaceful to stop rogue nations from firing missiles at us. But you know what? Russia's got that system. And guess who just sold the technology? An American company about 5 years ago. So that's what's going on, folks. We're allowing everybody else to arm. Clinton just sold cruise missile technology, not actual cruise missiles. He did something worse. He sold cruise missiles and he sold the factories, the supercomputers. He let McDonnell Douglas, who I consider to be traitors now, sell China, which will in turn give it to Iran. China right now has over 40,000 military and technological advisors in Iran. They're arming them for a major war in the next 10 years.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, quickly, Alex. When's your show?
It's on Wednesdays from 7 to 8:30 p.m. on Channel 10, and the Jeff Davis Show. Well, y'all know when that's on. It's on for 3 hours from 7:30 to 10:30 on Channel 10 too.
Here we have a quick announcement.
Alex, you check your mailbox over here at ACTV. We got something for you to plug for next
Gotcha.
week.
I'll do it. I'll put it on there.
Got you a news release in your mailbox. Don't forget.
Well, listen. listen,
Called you at your house and you didn't respond. Here he is.
I didn't get your message.
All right, my friends.
Well, listen,
I'll
you're doing
keep
a
it.
good job, and that suit looks pretty good.
Thanks.
And I've been plugging your show on there, and a lot of people called up asking about the stuff that you discussed. So there must be a lot of people watching your show, because about a third of the calls I get are talking about the Jeff Davis show. So that's I mean that's.
I guess that's okay, huh?
Yeah, and I've been plugging Starboard Side too. They don't really delve into too much, but they're for cutting government, and that's the key. People who say that we can't stop this BS, if you take away the taxes, at least cut them by 80%, is what I think, then you won't be feeding the monster, and the monster will go off and, get in the corner and die. But we can't just be apathetic and say, let's let this big government monster, which, governments have always been deadly all through history. If we let this big government monster keep growing, folks, we can't be apathetic. We can't say, oh, just forget it, just live your life, the government's okay. Folks, look at it. It keeps growing at a geometric rate. It's not stopping. It wants our civil liberties. It wants everything from free speech to the Second Amendment on to the 10th Amendment. They want to give all power to the federal government and tell you what to do. They're scanning your thumbs when you get a driver's license. They're starting to mark us like cattle. And folks, over in Europe, in Sweden and Switzerland, the same place 10, 15 years ago when they started scanning thumbs, for your fingerprints when they got driver's license, now they are placing in children, and it's voluntary right now, computer chips, just like you can go down to the vet and get one for your dog. Well, they're doing it to people. And so they're going to export that here in the next 10 years, I would estimate, since that technology moved here in the last 10 to 15 years from Europe. And it's so funny that Switzerland and all those places, that's where the international cartels are based. That's where the CFR is based. That's where the Council of Foreign Relations is based. That's where all this emanates like a spider web. And people who tell you it's crap, they're just the little fool dupes that don't want to believe. So just keep tuning into these top programs. And if you want now, you can turn on any other news channel. You'll hear about the CIA and drug runners. It has been proven. But you'll still say, well, I'm not sure. This might not be real.
Hey, do we look like ghosts?
No, earlier it was real dark. I usually watch your program, but
Are we looking like ghosts? See, I always like Casper anyway, so.
no, it actually looks pretty good, man. I mean, earlier y'all were a little bit too dark, but now it looks like you changed something or you got a different camera angle.
Yeah, we've been manipulating with it.
But listen, guys, you're doing a fantastic job. And listen, people who hear me all jabbering, you might think, who is this crazy telling me this bull? Folks, I am an excited person. It takes somebody like me or like Jeff or like James Crafty or whoever to get out there and to go forward and try to tell you some stuff. And all I'm trying to tell you is I've studied history, I've studied world history, and it's like a lot of great minds have said, history is a roadmap to the future because people tend to do the same type of stuff. But now the elites have got computers and all this other BS that they can really use against us. And I'm pro-computer if it's for us, the people. But
Satellites.
all I'm saying is whatever the media tells you, distrust it. I'm not saying don't believe it. Just distrust it.
Well, obviously, this is an anti-media man we're talking to.
Well,
I take it you have a love relationship with the media, huh?
Jeff, I really love them. Well, listen, I happen to know a lot of people. I'm not going to name names, but I know people who are major publishers. I know people that, let's put it this way. I know some top media people. That's why I've been able to get into presidential debates, real quick and take photographs and other things. Like on the stage. I've done quite a bit of stuff because I know a lot of media people, and they'll even tell you that, and it's like there's this elite behavior that they all engage in. In fact, we've all heard about it. And all I'm saying is the reason I target the media is because people are believing the garbage that's being handed to them, and the media is the mouthpiece, is the pen and ink of the elite. Mm-hmm. And I have nothing against power centers.
I will say this as well. It's not to me. It's not so much what they're covering, although it does have normally a pro-government view. Normally, it does.
Normally a big government view.
Right, but the biggest problem is, I think, is that it's what they're not telling us.
Exactly. Well, see,
the stuff that you can't get for one reason or another, you can't seem to get any.
Well, Jeff, you've hit the nail right on the head. A lot of times they'll report the story just because it's already leaked out and everybody's already talking about it. So it's kind of like, well, we better report on it.
And then it'll be kind of smoothed over.
Oh, it'll be absolutely watered down.
Yeah.
They'll say, we're not sure what's really going on. And, and so they're not alerting it to us.
So you're obvious.
Well, it's true.
Hey, we're just having fun here now.
No, it's funny. You're right.
Hey, it's better to laugh than cry.
Sure, that's why I always make fun of them because, I see these politicians from both parties.
But you know what? Let me tell you something, brother. These folks, I think most of them, their minds are just locked like the general public. And
Yeah,
it's not like they're saying, "Oh, we got to protect the Fed."
Oh,
You know, just
no,
because because they're being told we got to do this, we got to do this. My personal opinion is they're just basically duped like a lot of the general public,
Well,
and they're expendable, and basically they're nothing more than pawns in the game.
you know, one of the
So I basically have lightened up on them because whatever rains down on us is going to rain down on them too.
well,
so
you're
they
absolutely
might
right.
not.
And
So
I mean,
you understand my point?
sure. I mean that's totally solid.
So they just don't know it.
Well, it's like they choose not to know it, and they choose to feel like, well, they've been taught all through college that anybody that talks about the Fed is a goofball. That
Oh,
anybody
you
talks
believe that they've said? Do you believe that they actually are told that, huh?
Well,
You believe that, huh?
well, no.
Can
I
you
don't
verify that?
Really, listen, what I'm saying is,
I've had some of them tell me that, sure, Jeff, you put a nice little expose about the Fed on. We'll slap it up there for you. We'll put it on our editorial page. I've actually had them tell me that.
but they didn't, did they?
Well, I didn't give them one.
Well, listen to this, Jeff, before I go. What I'm saying is this. I know one of the deputy editors of Time Magazine, comes out to friends of mine. I've known him for about 10 years, even before he did that. I'm not going to say any names. And I've sat there and this is the mindset. He's a smart guy. I mean, smart to a certain extent, but it's like they've been trained in this ever since college because they were taught, you're smart, you're, whatever, we understand, blah, blah, blah. It's very subtle. I mean, it's more almost like a religion type thing because you say stuff like, well, I'm tired of key rich elite screwing it to us. I'm tired of having a high tax bracket. I'm tired of training the general public that taxes are okay. And what was his answer to taxes? Or to my quote that I was mad at rich elites. He said, well, then why aren't you for higher taxes? And I just had to laugh at him. I said, what do you mean? The elites, they control the government. They want high taxes because they've got their money offshore. They've got ways of avoiding the major taxes. And so they take our taxes into the government, run deficits, and then they get paid interest. They control the programs. And so, boom, I had, totally proven it there. And he was like, well, I do see your point because that's just cause and effect, supply and demand. It's right there in front of him. And then I went on to the other stuff. I said, what do you think about the Federal Reserve? And he said, well, I think it's done a pretty good job. And I think, oh, you think it's a good job that the lending rate is controlled by a private group that people think is perfect?
Well, see, that just proves my point then. I think a lot of them are just ignorant.
That's what I'm saying. But
In fact, a lot of them probably, just like the general public, they don't even know what it means. They don't even know what that is.
Well, yes, but I mean, the most powerful person in America who is sitting in a position that is public in the government is Alan Greenspan.
Oh, yeah.
And he's got unbelievable power, but I guarantee he's got strings that just stretch right on to David Rockefeller and all
Yes,
those
sir.
degenerates.
Yeah,
Fred
yes, sir.
Phillip and all the rest
But
of
that doesn't mean that the people in the media... See, I have to admit, I've lightened up on them because I think that they're expendable and they're going to, like I say, whatever rains down on us, Alex, it's going to rain down. It's going to rain down on them.
Well, yes, but we still have to. But it doesn't matter. The garbage is. I mean, the media is the mouthpiece, and so if the garbage is coming out of that, I'm not attacking the person who.
Yeah, but it's a system of ignorance rather than.
I understand that, but all I'm trying to say to the public is do not trust the media. Don't listen to.
Well,
the
I agree that there's a lot of mainly because of a lot of things that they don't, for one reason or another, do not tell you about.
Well, there's big money in handing us
Right.
a bunch of garbage.
I do agree with that.
But the key is.
In fact, Andy and I, we don't even very seldom, at least I don't even very seldom even watch it.
Well, listen, I'll let y'all get back, and this is a good show. I'll keep watching.
Appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it. What's your show again?
It is Wednesdays from 7 to 8:30 p.m. Channel 10, Alex Jones, Exposing Mass Media. And again, the key to freedom is cutting back on regulations. The key to freedom is slashing taxes. And, folks, it's going to be hard cutting government. They've gotten a lot of us addicted to it. They've gotten a lot of us on the tit. But, listen, it's going to be a lot worse if we keep down this path towards socialism. Because you think back to what happened in Russia, think what happened in China, all over the world. A lot of people starve, a lot of people get shot, a lot of people get hung when the government gets a certain size. It is a fact. It never's different. If government takes over, people die. That's in the history books.
Well, let me just mention something. In the last 220 years, 190 million people have died due to some type of government's action across the
This is in Encyclopedia Britannica.
Yeah.
It is in many
wars, abortions, diseases, the different things that the... well, of course, you and I both know, Alex, that the financiers are in charge of the governments. to the central bank.
You're absolutely right.
But
well, before I got, there's just one more thing I wanted to get out.
Go ahead.
Because when you talked about the wars and the abortions and all that type of stuff, you're absolutely right. But that's just a little side plate on their menu. What scares me is that you're right on the money with your numbers. It is well known that communists worldwide, conservatively estimated in the last 100 years, have killed 120 million people. That's almost 3 times what Hitler killed. But why?
Are you familiar with the Inquisition of the Catholic Church?
Oh gosh, well listen.
Don't think an organized religion don't have a part in all
I say that all the time.
The one thing I was handed a little piece of information here that I want to just mention.
Go ahead.
I guess this was on C-SPAN or something, or okay. It said Treasury Secretary Robert Rubin, of course, attended the last Bilderberg meeting.
He replaced the late Commerce Secretary Ron Brown, who had that last.
No, not Commerce. This was Treasury Department. The Treasury Department. Rob Rubin. I think he replaced Benson or one of them. But the fact is, he addressed the Bretton Woods Committee, telling them that, and I actually saw this, so it's a good quote, telling them that a growing opposition to central bank institutions and the Federal Reserve is emerging, and it is to their peril. Meaning, he was saying "are," but meaning to their. It is to their peril that we ignore this growing opposition. So in other words, they're conditioning. They're basically staying amongst their little selves. Of course, this was a public. This was a thing that was covered on C-SPAN.
Well,
so it wasn't the real. It wasn't the real powers. Yeah. But the fact is, they're at least on the surface acknowledging that we don't want to be stolen from to contribute to the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund.
We're starting to cause a problem. We're starting to be a little bit troublesome. What I've noticed about that is that.
And they called for. Yeah, I do remember that. Robert Rubin called for them and the viewers to write their congressman and please tell their congressman that yes, we want to be stolen from more so we can contribute more to the World Bank.
Mike Hanson Archives. Hello, folks. Stay tuned right here on this channel, Hanson Archives, for more classic Alex Jones, Jeff Davis, and all the other good patriots fighting the good fight for the last 25, 30 years. And hopefully death to the New World Order. Stay tuned right here. Be sure to write us there at that address if you can help us get these archives up quicker. And our phone number's there if you need to get a hold of us. Thanks a lot and God bless. Continue to watch our ongoing series here on Mike Hanson Archives and Hanson Archives.
I mean, that's the scary part. And
that's about what he said, isn't it? Yeah, but he was also, since it was on C-SPAN, though, it was to the viewers.
But folks, what's so scary about this?
So he was calling out to them, yeah. Oh yeah, this is all just theory, though, Alex.
People like to, yes, exactly. People like to say over and over that we're just stupid to worry about this, that this is crap. Folks, the biggest industry in the world now is not just banking, but it's just financing our debt. Just this year, bigger than auto sales, bigger than computer sales, bigger than defense, bigger than entitlements, not those combined, but by themselves, is going to be financing our debt. $360 billion on our $5.2 trillion debt.
Of course, who's that going to now? Now, what's wrong with that now? We have to pay for roads.
But that's not going to roads. That's going straight. That's going straight.
I'm just playing with you.
No, I understand. That's going straight to private banks. That's going straight into the hands of private banks. That's going straight to the hands of private financier groups based in Europe, based in Japan, based in New York.
But there's nothing wrong with that. We have to have all these things.
I know, exactly. Well, listen, I'll shut up after Here is the key, folks, and I was sitting around just the other night with some so-called pseudo-intellectuals that were over at a party, and these were YouTube professors and people, and the chic thing to talk about, and it'll always be chic because this is what they're obsessed with, because this is what the elite hands down to them through grants to professors that they like at Berkeley and all over where this pseudo-science crap comes out. They were talking about population control and how it's the biggest threat to the future. And that's true. Population threat is the biggest threat towards the elite, and it is a threat towards the environment. environment. But I want to just give out some quick facts, and then I will be done. At the turn of the century in this country, theoreticians and fact people said that our population couldn't increase in this country, and we weren't industrialized yet. We were industrializing. We were developing. They said that we couldn't get any bigger because there was too many horses and there was too much horse manure in the cities for anything to grow anymore. Well, we got combustion engines, folks. No more need for all these horses. Then we had a problem with smog. We got catalytic converters. Now all this stuff's been cut by over 95%, and a lot of cities are over 2/3 cleaner. Even LA is. So, folks, humans grow, we learn, we move, and they're so scared about population growth. It's true. The world population increases by 100 million each year. But here's the fact. In America, we only have a 2.5% population growth, and that is very low, and that's healthy. In Germany, they have a negative population growth. In France, they have a...
Hey, Alex, I got to interrupt you. I'm getting all kinds of...
Well, all right, well, Jeff, here's the last thing.
All right, go ahead.
So listen, here's the fact. Anytime some professor or somebody tries to sell you on this people out there, it is an attack on human freedom and the right to have children and the right to live. And believe me, this is going to be the move of the future. They're going to blame every problem on population. All we need is for these third world countries to develop. These third world countries, as soon as they develop like we did, they will get a stagnant population growth. 2 parents on average will have 2
one
kids.
quick one. Are you aware of the new bill that the Clinton just signed about the buying up more national parks and all of that?
Exactly. They're starting to more and more. I saw him.
Of course, it's in our best interests here again. See,
of course,
they're gonna steal from us and buy.
Good land has to be guarded, folks. That's going to be their line.
For them.
So listen, folks. Just remember this: when Mount St. Helens blew up, all the scientists. No, listen.
The deuce is going to blow up and
Hey, we're having a good time down here, Alex.
I understand. But
Down here looking like Casper and everything.
Well, listen, folks, I can refute all their BS. Every time you sit there and you see some liberal professor or somebody spouting about how fragile the earth is, I am against dumping of toxic chemicals. But these same corporations that have got our house cleaned, now they're just dumping it in Mexico. But here's what I wanted to say. When Mount St. Helens erupted, all the top... Listen, folks.
Go on, we're listening. Go on with it.
All right. When Mount St. Helens...
Come on. We got a studio audience down here,
I
Alex.
understand, folks, but this is deadly important.
Okay, go on with
When
it.
Mount
Go
St.
on
Helens
with it.
erupted, all the top moron scientists who love to act like it's gloom and doom because the elite wants to get this panic going, just like Hitler had the Jews as a tar baby so he could send his country into evil. They need a tar baby, and they're going to use the environment and racial upsurge and gender gaps and class envy. When Mount St. Helens erupted, folks, the top scientists, all the idiots, said it would be a dead zone for 100 to 200 years at least. Go look at it now. It's on all the channels. It is one of the most lush places in the world. Life has just sprung forward. This planet was born out of fire and lava and destruction. Life is very vibrant and very incredible. Just because we see that a lot of the top orders of life, like whales and things being hurt, which a lot of them have come back to record levels, the bald eagle isn't even threatened anymore, folks. That's okay. So just understand this, folks. Do not believe their crap. This is serious. We're in an end game here because dictatorships, totalitarian groups love to kill. That's their favorite thing. They've got a bloodlust for it. Read history. Thanks a lot, Jeff.
Thank you, my friend. All right. Okay, we got a full slate of callers. Let's bring them on to the air. We're talking about a little bit about everything here now. Okay, you're on air.
Hello, Joe.
How you doing?
How you doing, guys? Like you're doing pretty good now.
Yeah, we're having fun. We're looking like ghosts down here, I've been told.
I don't know if you know. I know you're against the government. I wish I could cut you off and take you back. I don't know if you went to a vampire or not, you know.
Hey, I always like Casper, so hey. I say we get out, we look like ghosts down here. That's what I say. Is this...
What you got going on? What you want to do? You got a deal about all the safety belt law. Well, Mike's trying to plan this out back there a little bit, ain't he?
Well, what we was talking about, this is a friend of mine from Ohio, and we just got talking last night. We were wondering what we were going to talk about today, and it came up that we're sick and tired of being violated. Now, as far as I'm concerned, if you get, this means being audited, having a state trooper, or we're getting a lot of feedback. You have to turn that down just a little bit, I think. Okay. Well, I still say we got the best crew on ACTV.
Oh, you got the best down there. I ain't a doubt in my mind.
But we were talking about being stopped, having your car searched. You have to, go out and get your inspections. You have to get show them proof of insurance, all of these different things. These people are supposed to be our public servants. That is not our public servants when they are violating us in this manner. Would you agree, Andy?
Exactly. What I want to basically say to the public is when the government they say they're doing something good for you, or they seem to be doing something good for you, turn it around and say, look, what's in it for them? They're not interested in our best interest. Just about everything they do is to serve
somebody else, or somebody else's, the money interest or something like this.
The reason why I called was about this time last year, a little later after Christmas, I went down and picked up a couple of day laborers down at that day labor corner y'all have downtown. Actually I called up a couple of the temporary services, and it was close to Christmas, and they said, well, we can't, best choice of this Christmas you do is go down and just pick you up the day laborers down at the day labor deal. When you pull over, they all hop on your truck, you know what I'm saying? But when you pull up there, everyone was
That's good right there.
job where they wouldn't be out there. You know what I'm saying? They have families and all of them take care of the stuff. So officer, they jumped on my vehicle, and I had to stop and tell them I couldn't take hold of guys. I had much work for me guys who jumped on my truck. So the officer gave me a ticket for it and everything down there. So what was so crazy about it was I tried to fight it in court and everything. I turned up losing it. It cost me several $100s over and everything. But I thought it was pretty sick for when we deny the people who's down the most, a hand to try to lift them up and give them a job. I thought that was pretty, cruddy of not only our city, but of our state to let them get away with something like this. And what it tells me is basically that once you are down, they want to keep you down, and the best way they control you when you're down. When you're up, you can't control someone who has money because you decide them to. But when they have you down, they control you, and they feel that they are overpowering. That's the whole issue of what they're going for.
I agree.
Well, I just want to say that I thought it was kind of a pretty cruddy deal and did that to me. It wasn't only me, but several other people here in Austin, they did it too. I mean, it wasn't like we were using them for a business.
The point that we're trying to make here, I think, is that in many areas, contrary to maybe 100 years ago, we're being completely violated. And quite frankly, the American people 100 years ago wouldn't put up with a lot of the shenanigans that Americans are putting up with today. And a lot of people I'm afraid, are not even are cognizant of it. So what we're trying to do with this particular program is show that, hey, folks, we're being violated on a lot of different issues by these people who supposedly are supposed to be working for us.
That's right, they are.
I've already mentioned them.
Themselves.
Okay. Okay, next, we got another one?
Later.
Appreciate your call, brother. Okay. Okay, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello, Jeff. How are you this evening? Hello.
You're on the air.
Hello.
Hello?
Sounds like we're having a little trouble.
Hello, you're on the air.
Sounds like we're having a little trouble. Can you hear me at all?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Well, good. Being somebody that was smart enough to leave Ohio, where is your friend from in that state?
I'm from the Kent, Ohio area.
From where, please?
Kent, Ohio, near Akron, Ohio.
Oh, yeah. I used to live over in Alliance, but right there in the middle of the Rust Belt with you.
Alliance, yeah, right near Ravenna.
Well, we're picking up a little bit in Ohio. We're getting some new industries in. We're going into different kind of industries, so we're picking up pretty well.
Well, lots of luck. That's all I can say. Move to Texas. It's a little better, at least.
We're actually trying to get him to move this. He'd be a good partner for our little network we got down here.
By the way, was this the Jeff Davis or the Alex show tonight?
It's really, right now, it's a technical problem show. But we still have the best show on ACTV.
Okay, well, let me get into what I started to call you for to start with.
Go ahead.
I am involved in immigration control and was in contact with a young lady, Barbara Coe, who's the head of the California Coalition for Immigration Control recently.
What's your first name?
Her first name?
No, yours.
Dave.
Okay.
And she had the audacity to write in her newspaper out there that's distributed to her membership that she would like to have them go out near the polling places and indicate that it was legal for only American citizens to vote, or it was illegal for non-American citizens to vote. Now, because she was foolish enough to do something like that, she's had the Justice Department grill her for an extensive period of time and threatened her with jail. MALDEF threatened her with lawsuits. The voter registrar for the area out there in Los Angeles was about to haul her in. The Secretary of State for the state of California contacted her and was going to have her hauled in, all because they were going to march at 110 feet, which is 10 feet beyond the limit, with placards that says only American citizens can vote. Now, this is the other side of the coin that you were talking about. They'll stop you and want to shake you down for everything in the world, whether they have cause or not.
Yes.
And yet, if you're foolish enough to try utilizing the First Amendment for the purposes it was intended for, you're virtually asking for a lawsuit.
I agree. Or actually, in my particular situation, if I don't know if this is the same line, but if you're stopped, and you even at least in my situation that I just had here, if you even insinuate that hey you're being violated, this fella he all but said, well, if you don't like it, or he basically told me that I don't have the right to say that I believe I'm being violated. So it was even getting severe just at the very beginning of our communication.
Well, I think that it takes a very special individual to be a good gendarme as far as that's concerned, and I think the Austin police at least try. Some of them are SFBs, some of them are good people.
But my contention, though, Dave, is that they should not have the right to do that.
No,
I'm not talking about I'm talking about just this country as a whole. We should not be allowing our people who are public servants to stop us, pull us over, demand that they see papers and check and search our trunks and whatever they we should not that's a violation of our rights. Any way you look at it, doesn't matter if it's a good fella doing it or a bad fella. It's still a violation, and many people unfortunately are not even cognizant of it, that they're being violated.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Okay.
I also have an interesting item here that I'll send you a copy if you'd like.
Go ahead and put our P.O. box. Put the address up. Go ahead.
It was the game plan for the Communist Party, which was read into the congressional record in January 10th of 1963, which is well before the collapse of the communist country. Provide American aid to all nations, regardless of communist denominations. Grant recognition to China. Admission to Red China to the UN. It goes on for about 45 different items here, every one of which we are accomplishing right now.
Yes, and I've already studied the Communist Manifesto. You know, you've studied the 10 planks of it.
Yes.
The central bank, the graduated income tax, the public education, inheritance tax, all of which, virtually all of them have been implemented as of today.
Yes, and that's exactly what this communist plan for the next 10 years, starting in '63, was, and we've hit virtually every one of them.
I'll tell you what. If you can you send us a copy of it?
Yes, I will.
I will go ahead, and we will go ahead and.
Can I tell Dave something?
Go ahead. We got another fellow here that wants to say something.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah.
Tomorrow on the Joyce Isaac Show at 10 o'clock,
Yes.
1300 a.m., she's going to have Jerry Lynn Ball, which is D.V. Kidd's friend, that wrote a book called Tyranny, Taxation, and Treason. And be sure to watch that, everybody. Listen to it.
Yeah, I'll be glad to watch Joyce on the radio there, and I'll listen to her also. Joyce's an old friend.
All righty, Dave.
I know he knows her. That he called.
Yeah, send us a copy of that, would you?
Yes, I will. Put your address back up. I can't talk and
Okay,
write
one more
at the
time.
same time.
The P.O. box. We'll get it up here in a minute.
Incidentally, while he's fumbling around with that, thank you very much for the information that he sent to me concerning the takeover of all of our parks by the the United Nations.
Oh yeah, that's very well documented. That's no theory. In fact, there's quite a few members of the House that are complaining about that right now, at least on the surface.
Well, yes, and that's what I'm afraid of. It's only surface.
Yeah, it's only surface, but at least they're at least acknowledging that there's something severely wrong with these parks that we supposedly own and are supposedly paid for, are being turned over to an international institution.
It's interesting to note that if you dig out the book that your gentleman the other night was touting, Who's Who in the Elite?
Galen Ross.
Yes, Galen Ross.
Yes,
If you reference his book, which I think is excellent, and I would advise everybody to buy, take a look at those people that are doing the graping. There are also people that are all listed in there.
Right, I'm aware of that, Dave. I've seen the manipulation on both sides for a long time. But there are a few of them that are griping that maybe are sincere. Maybe. At least I want to hope that they are.
Well, it would be
But
nice.
as far as I for one have given up all faith in the Washington District of Criminals. I just don't think that we're never going to break away from our shackles by any actions of those people that are bought and paid for up there.
Well, and I don't know of any, or very few of them, that aren't bought and paid for, too. And I'm wondering if that purchase isn't extended considerably further down than just the Beltway in Washington.
I agree. Anything else, Dave? Did you get our address?
No, I've got it.
Okay. Appreciate your call, brother.
Okay.
All right. Let's go ahead and take another one. Wait a minute. Before we go, do you have any comments on any of that, Andy?
Yes, I wanted to comment on the proposition they had in California recently. I spent the last month in California, and they passed 209, which I campaigned for, to end affirmative action in California. And a while back, they had something on immigration, and they had a situation before the anti-immigration thing passed. They had a situation out there where illegal immigrants would get free health care and free schooling, both in school and also some in college, and California was suffering through a recession. So again, you're getting illegal aliens coming in here and getting full benefits, where we have a situation in this country where we have a large percentage of people who do not have any health care.
But the fact is, in my opinion, they're both wrong. No way should a big brother government be providing health insurance for anybody, or providing for people's retirements or anything else.
But certainly not illegal aliens.
Okay, you're on the air, caller. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you tonight?
Fine, and you?
Fine, Jeff. My name is Leland. We've talked before in the past
Yes, sir.
a few times.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to relate a little incident that happened here in my home this week. About 2 o'clock in the afternoon several days ago. Well, let me prefix this by saying I'm a local South Austin homeowner and a local businessman. Never been in any trouble with the law. I am an avid gun collector, and I make the gun shows, and I know what's going on and where the Patriot movement. Okay? Several days ago, I was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon watching TV back in the back room of my house, and I heard a loud thumping noise, somebody slamming against the side of my house, and it didn't sound like it. It was too violent to be a door knock, and I got up to go into the front door, and walking down the hall, and 2 policemen ran into my house. Said, what? And I met them in the hallway, and they're saying, what's going on here? What's the problem here? I said, well, what are you doing in my home? Why are you here? And they said, well, we have a 911 call from here. And I said, no, sir, you didn't. I didn't call 911. I'm the only person here, and I know there hasn't been a call. Well, we're going to have to search your house to make sure everything's all right here. So they proceeded to search my house, went through all the rooms, looked in the closet, found my gun collection, took all my guns out, examined them, checked the numbers. Then there were several AK-47s and a lot of ammunition. They wanted to know why I had those kind of weapons. I said those are perfectly legal, semi-automatic. Actually, they were MAK-90s, the semi-automatic legal version of the So they talked about confiscating them. They wound up not taking them. They left them with me, but they just after looking around, I said, "Why? If you're here on a 911 call and you think," I asked them why they had to search the house, and they said, "Well, perhaps you've hidden somebody. You've got somebody unconscious or holding them hostage, and they're in a closet or something. We have to make sure." And I said, "Well, now that you've found there's no one here, why are you looking through my guns?" And they said, "Well, they might be illegal. We just want to check them out." So they left, and I was very disconcerted and upset about this. I didn't know quite what to do, so I called Internal Affairs and filed a complaint. And the response there was, "Well, sir, it was probably a glitch in the computer system, and they got a call from 911, perhaps a hang-up or something, so they felt they had to come out and investigate." And I asked around. I have a few friends on the police department, and I told them about this, and they said, "Man, that is a standard tactic. They want to get in your house and look around. They just say that they've received a 911 call, and that gives them the right to go in and search."
Is there any reason why that they might? I mean,
No,
but
actually, no, sir. No, not.
But again, if everything you're saying there is true, see, in my opinion, you were violated.
Oh, I feel like I was really violated. It's really, and I think they're using this technique to go into people's houses. Several years ago, my house was robbed, and I called the police and turned in a police report and gave them all the particulars and gave them a list of a large gun collection that was stolen. And at that time, they questioned me why I had such an extensive gun collection, and I told them, "Well, it's perfectly legal. I'm an American citizen. I like guns. I shoot. I hunt. I target practice. I like guns. Nothing wrong with that." And I think that I think maybe I'm paranoid, but I think they were just running in here searching, wanting to know what kind of weapons I had. I mean, that's, I don't know.
Well, the reason why we're talking about this, Leland, is, because I think a lot of people are not even thinking that quite frankly, if you are on a road and you are stopped, and you're asked to give this, that, and the other, and they check your trunk or whatever, you're being violated.
Oh yeah.
There's no question about it. I mean, you can sit there and rationalize, but you might have been driving drunk, or they might have thought that you were driving drunk, or whatever rationale is behind it. The fact of the matter is, you are being violated by people who are supposed to be your public servant.
Well, when the seatbelt laws came out many years ago, I felt that from that time on, our rights. Well, before that, but that was the first thing that came to my mind. Really, was when they passed the seatbelt laws.
Yeah, that's one of them that Anthony brought up.
That was just something that really showed me that they were taking our liberties a little bit at a time. And now, you mentioned earlier the motorcycle helmet law and the bicycle helmet law, and I think there's a very simple answer to that. If motorcyclists and bicyclists would as a group, would refuse to wear those helmets, just everyone, don't wear them, take the ticket, go ahead and take it. Go to court, plead not guilty, and ask for a trial by a jury. Clog the court system.
But see, that you're still playing into the symptoms. The fact is, we as a people shouldn't even be tolerating it.
Well, you're right.
That's just playing games. Now you're just talking about playing games.
Well, I feel that by clogging the court system, it's all about money. And
yeah.
By cost, when you ask for a trial by jury, make them assemble that jury, spend all the time to get the prosecutor, the jury, the cops that wrote the ticket have to show up, cost them a lot of money. And if you begin to hurt them in the pocketbook, they will back off of some of this. That's my thought, anyway.
Yeah. But the fact is, we should be standing up and saying, no, you are our public servants, and you're not going to stop us and give us a ticket for a law that you say you're protecting us from ourselves. That's essentially what they're saying. We're going to protect you from yourselves, and if you don't adhere to it, there's a consequence.
Yeah.
That's not a government that's protecting the lives and property of the people. That's a government that's taking taking the lives and property of the people.
Yeah.
So it's very, so again, all of the symptoms, we can look at all the symptoms, but the fact is we are very much being violated on every front. In fact, you were talking about, Andy, in fact, I personally know a fellow that he just got a ticket in the mail because a helicopter supposedly said that his car was shooting out too much pollution into the air, or too much smog into the air.
Was that here in Texas?
Yeah, right here in Austin.
That's hard to go.
And he just gets a ticket in the mail, like, one day, and 2 weeks ago you were cited by such and such helicopter that your car was transmitting too much. I mean, this is just completely ridiculous.
It is. How do you defend against that? How do you?
Yeah, I don't. Well, anyway, we got to get it. I do appreciate your call, though.
Goodbye.
Do you have any comments to that particular?
Well, I would just basically say that you have to. I know I'm not on camera here. I know. Basically, I would just say that you're going to have to speak up about the situation, and talk to other people about it, friends, workers, co-workers, whatever the case, and band together and do something about it. That's about the best thing I can tell you. And as far as the idea of clogging up the court system, that's something.
You mentioned that too, but to me, that's still kind of playing games.
Yeah, well, I think anything you can do.
We should be dealing with it on the front end.
Well, sure.
That means we should be standing up as a people, American people, and say, no, you can't violate us like this. You're supposed to be working for us. You're supposed to be public servants.
That's true, but I think the clogging the court system is something. It's a minor thing, but it's something that we should do.
Bring attention to the viewers of this show, Andy, that every time that we are that they're passing this law supposedly to help us, to save ourselves from ourselves, we're losing more and more of our rights.
Yeah, we are losing more.
We can dwell on symptoms, but the fact is we're being violated.
Yes, we are being violated, Jeff, and it's something, again, that people should, like I mentioned earlier, people should, when the government does something supposedly for them, they should ask, why is the government doing this for us?
Right.
Keep watching the classic videos right here on Hanson Archives, Waco Archives, and the original station, Mike Hanson Archives. I just wanted to show you those videos, and these videos still have to be uploaded. That's what's taking so long. We have hired somebody to do it, and we do have the equipment to do it now. So, and believe it or not, this and that is just over here at one of our offices, and all the rest of it, we have at least 10 times this over at the museum. So we are busy doing it. And if you would like to participate in helping with that, we're okay. Keep watching the classic videos right here on Hanson Archives, Waco Archives, and the original station, Mike Hanson Archives. I just wanted to show you those videos, and these videos still have to be uploaded. That's what's taking so long. We have hired somebody to do it, and we do have the equipment to do it now. So, and believe it or not, this and that is just over here at one of our offices, and all the rest of it, we have at least 10 times this over at the museum. So we are busy doing it. And if you would like to participate in helping with that, we're